the language of behavior, so behavior is communication. So it's communicative. Behavior is trying to get to something or away from something. So if they want to see a dog, someone would show the behavior of an interest in going towards a dog. If they wanted to get away from a dog, they'd run and they'd be crying or screaming. And that is that they're showing behavior. They're communicating they need to get away, or they're communicating they want to get to. And so a lot of times we say, well, that was unexpected behavior. And we don't realize, like an iceberg. And so you'll notice the screen in front of you. I put this iceberg. And essentially we say, oh, that was unexpected. But the truth is it wasn't unexpected if we looked deeper. So if you look deeper, what if it wasn't unexpected because it was a part of their lack of ability to cognitively understand? So a child has not fully developed their brain at this stage. Their brain is not working in the way that your brain would be. I got to be honest with you. I think one of the things that I realized as a father, and I was a father and still am a father of 3, as also I am now a grandfather of 15. So I've definitely gone through a lot of experience. I've gone through the bad and I've gone through the good. I was the big bad dad and I became the loving, caring father. Now I'm not without my faults, but I continue to strive to find how we can work and get better with what we do. All I'm going to say is everything you learn from mama, you learn from papa, your grandpappy, your grandmammy, that you learned from your aunt, your uncle, that you picked up in school 20, 30, 40 years ago, that may not be relevant today. We get smarter, we better evolve. Now, already I know that some of you are like, oh, come on, Evan. You know that some of this wishy-washy psychological babble, it's just a bunch of babble, consequences. There's nothing. Kids get away with everything. Well, I'm not actually talking to you today about that. And what I'm focusing in on, and by the way, I'm not telling you how to parent or how to work with a child, as in you need to do it my way. I'm going to give you strategies. But these strategies are strategies for understanding, and they're strategies for managing. I'm not giving you strategies that here's a 10-point strategy you can work with and giving you ideas. Well, you could take one car away or you could add another car. I'm going to mention things in passing, but that's your choice. That's your job as the staff, as a caregiver, as a parent, as a family member of that person's life. So I want you to now look and notice how in this deck in front of you, on this slide deck, you can see behaviors, community. If a kid doesn't have the cognitive ability, why are you talking to them like they're an adult? Well, Evan, they understand what I'm saying. I can tell that they understand what I'm saying. But do they? Do they understand what you're saying? See, let me just explain it this way. I speak English. I've had someone who doesn't speak English, and they've gone to talk to me, and I thought they understood. They answered yes, they went along with it, and I'm like, yeah, they get it. So as I'm talking, I continue, only to find out they didn't understand. Just because they said yes, just because they answered the way I thought they should, didn't mean they fully comprehended. They thought I meant something different. Maybe you're Spanish speaking, and you know what that's like. You spoke Spanish to someone and they're English, generally speaking. And so they have a little bit of Spanish and you kept on going, but they didn't understand. Maybe you're French. Maybe you're German. Maybe you speak Mandarin. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you think you understand. It's no different. And today we're not going to get into the teaching around FASD, which we will at some time with children in one of these months leading up. We also have next month on ADHD, and we'll talk more about that at the end of today. But understanding that cognitively, this was coming up because you were talking to them like they understood nothing. And so this was unexpected. You spoke to them, they understood, but they didn't actually understand. And so what happens is they also have emotions, and they're more emotionally disconnected. They're combobulated. They're not catching it the same way as someone else. And so therefore, you start finding that they're responding in a certain way and you go, oh, that was unexpected. But when you know and connected to a child, you will know that some are more emotional than the other. If all behavior is communication, what do we need to know? So if people, your children, the kids you work with, if they're communicating and they're using behavior, then what do we need to know? Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're working with a child, you are their leader. You say, I'm not a leader. But you are. See, leadership is influencing people. All leaders influence. And when you are working with a child, as a parent, as a family member, as a staff, maybe you're as a teacher, as a caregiver, in any form or facet, you are actually leading. You're trying to be a role model, because that being a role model is going to help. We'll talk about that a little more and how they shape those little brains of theirs, as well as you are also going to be the one who provides them to feel safe, because we all know that pain escalates. So emotional pain escalates, but also physical pain. So if they're having fevers, or if you think of a baby, the baby will cry.